What's up guys, Darkdally here, and I am continuing to update my Black Fortress Sanctuary, which you have seen in the previous two videos if you watch those. If not, there will be links, of course. I also want to say I linked my mod load order in the description if any of you are curious, and I have updated it. I'm always updating my mod load order to try to, tweak some things out. I mentioned in an earlier video that I had some problems deleting a bush over here, and a viewer commented it's all about the load order, so I shifted some stuff around, and sure enough I was able to delete this bush. It was actually weird. It did not involve moving the mod further down. It actually involved moving it up somehow, but that worked. So here we are updating the Black Fortress. Now what I've done is I have added a water treatment plant way down there by the water. We'll get to that. And I'm constantly working on the settlers' quarters, and this building is going to be like basically a commissary kind of thing. There's going to be vendors and crafting stations, a common area out here. This building is obviously incomplete. I kind of just started working on it. It'll likely be a third story, and this floor here is actually going to hang out over this balcony area I've made. I'll come back to this, but I just wanted to show this real quick. This is the building I'm currently working on, which is, kind of like a commissary area for the settlers, I guess is the best way I could put it. Here is their actual quarters, which I have done some work to. A little bit. I tidied up the inside. Now they have beds. I decided to go with the Institute beds to match, the sterile and, smooth sci-fi feel of the fortress that I'm building here. So I've gone with these beds, and I've decided to go with these lights as my standard light fixture. There are so many cool lights in the game, but so many of them just don't light up and don't work properly. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. But if you don't, then I'll show you here. Let's see. If you go to the lights, a lot of these lights look so cool, but they just don't work right. And it's very disappointing. Oh, my build menu is being slow. There we go. The settlement's gotten pretty big though, so it's understandable. All these cool lights like these, they provide light, but they don't actually light up. It's all of those ceiling lights as far as I know, and the same goes with these cool wall lights. Okay, these do, but they don't look, they don't have the look I want. These guys here also, if I'm mistaken, they don't light up. I find it very disappointing. So I was kind of limited to only a few choices, and I decided on these. I like these. These are okay. And then again, this is just, sleeping quarters for the settlers, and this is going to have to be expanded because if I get any more settlers, I'm going to need some more beds. But I'll work on that as it comes. There is room to expand this up to a third story if I need to. So you've seen that building, and that was in the previous video. All I've done is add power and beds. I would have liked to have a power door there, but as I've said, and as you know, those power doors, they just won't snap everywhere, and there was no way to get a power door to snap here. I would have had to resort to one of these doors. I'm just not a fan of these. Now, speaking of these doors, this switch here is only here temporarily, so I can lock down my settlement. Well, that's troubling. That door should have closed too. Oh, I see what the problem is. We'll fix that right now. This switch here is going to be up in my control room so that I can lock down the settlement remotely. And I'll show you what all the controls as soon as I fix this wire. Yeah, that was my bad. That wire needs to run from here. Ran it from the wrong conduit. Okay, there we go. Now when I shut this, it locks those down, and I think I made the same wiring mistake over here. Yes, I did. Once these doors are hooked up properly, actually I can do that right now too. Yeah, I can't believe I made that mistake. So let's go ahead and it's this wire. Yes. We'll just run that like so. Okay, so now, and again, this switch will be up in my control room, so I can shut all this down remotely without exposing myself. But in the case of a raid, that switch shuts down those doors, and it's going to shut down this door and the back entrance to that as well, to protect raiders from getting into anything. As you can see, yeah, that's how that seals off my food. Now, yeah, this building here does have a rear entrance, which goes down to my water treatment plant. And I will show that in 1 second. First of all, I want to touch on something I discovered about this building. Now, you'll recall in my last video I showed how I had blocked off these buildings, you know, to prevent raiders from taking cover in them. Just, yeah, to give the raiders fewer places to take cover in, I went ahead and blocked off all these buildings. So far as I've seen, they have not found any way into them, except for this house. They don't get in. It's that in walling these off, I discovered that this house is indeed a spawn point. Now, I do have some footage from earlier, but I noticed during my last 2 raids, there were raiders in here. Far too many to have simply glitched in there. I just finished a raid, and after everyone was dead, I came back to find 16 raiders of various types. Raiders psychos, professional raiders, chubby, and the like, all trapped in here. So this is obviously a spawn point, so what I've gone and done is left it walled off. I installed this door so that when I get raided, if they spawn here, you can just come in. Now, you can't shoot through this window here, but you can throw grenades and molotovs through these windows here. So yeah, I came through and just roasted them all with molotovs and the like, and then I can just open this door and come loot them. Pretty handy. Yep, found it by accident. So here's one of the spawn points, clearly. So yes, as you can see, yeah, that was the bodies of 16 raiders, which had spawned in here, and because this was walled off, they were completely trapped inside. So I have that handy dandy door, so after I slaughter them, I can go in and loot them. I have plans to do something with that. It's given me a really wicked, genius idea, and that will be in a future update once I know more what I'm doing. So, on to the water treatment plant. I'm quite proud of this. It came out very nice. Originally, it was just to be a wall around my water purifier. And that's how it started off. Let's get up here. I built the water purifier down there, and I built the wall around it. And then the wall kind of went up, and then the idea kind of expanded. So let me take you down here and show you what we've done. I like the look of the scaffoldings around it. It gives it like a kind of offshore rig, industrial look that I really like. I really like these scaffoldings anyway. So here, this is locked off. This is not connected to the lockdown switch. This is on its own, open and close as, you know, is needed to come and go, but there's no way raiders can open that, obviously, so we're good. So here is the water purifier. I wanted to use the yellow one, which is the actual, I believe this is just a reskinned one colored black. As far as I know, the only one in the actual game is yellow. But anyway, this is the yellow one. I just picked the black. I wanted to go with yellow, actually, because of all the yellow accents I have. However, it did not want to sit here. And I could demonstrate, but there's no point. Just trust me, it did not want to sit here. Every other color, the red one would, the black one would, you know. The yellow one just wouldn't sit here. I don't know why. Actually, the yellow one wouldn't sit anywhere in the water. So, that's why I used the black one. And then here I have my patented logic gate. And I've shown this in previous videos. It's an XOR logic gate with both switches hooked up. It allows you to open and close the door from either side with either switch. And no matter which position either switch is in, toggling one or the other will always open and close it. I like that. I don't need to go on about it. I'm sure most of you know how to do that. It's very cool. Now up here, I decided to keep going up. I didn't want to have just a big square box. I wanted to have something cool. And so here, this is like the Caretakers Quarters, I guess, for the water treatment plant. And this is where he sleeps and his hazmat suit and everything that he needs, because the water down there is highly radioactive. So this is the Caretakers Quarters, and then in here, this is the control room for the water pump, and this is where he works. And so yeah, so I made myself a little control room to control all the goings on of the water pump. I mean, this thing provides, you know, 100 water for my settlement. It's very important because that 100 water is not only this settlement, but that provides water for all of my settlements. That's enough. So there we have that. And then let me get back down here. It looks quite nice from the ground. I designed it to be aesthetically pleasing, as I've tried to do with a lot of these buildings. And then there's the power pylon that supplies power to the water purifier. I've tried to do aesthetic. I've tried to take, you know, architectural flow into mind building this. Now, one place I will admit I'm not too happy with, I wouldn't call this a fail, but I could have done better, is this area here feels kind of cramped. And I've done what I could to carry the flow from this building up onto this building to try to minimize that. But I don't like the way these buildings are crowded right here. And honestly, the best solution is probably just to go ahead and connect them. And so that makes this like a curved courtyard. Might be what I do. As long as I'm on problems, yeah, I'm still kind of at an impasse as to what to do for the entrance to this elevator. You see, I can't put a door here, because if I put a door here, then there's going to be a gap above it, because, you know, because the dimensions the elevator is built at do not match the dimensions of the concrete. So, you know, if I put a door here, there'd be a gap. If I, you know, obviously if I snapped the door up here, I would have a gap down here, which I could take care of, but then the, you know, the threshold of the door is going to be about knee high, and that's kind of weird. So yeah, can't put a doorway. I'm not sure quite what to do. We'll get to that. Now in here, I want to go back in here. I used the same carpeting I used in there. And let me go ahead and show you how I do this, because maybe you haven't seen my previous videos, and maybe you don't know how to achieve this look. This is very cool. Like right here, you know, I have half carpet and half tile. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did, because I know a lot of my people, actually probably half my subscribers were not subscribers when I showed a lot of the techniques that I just do all the time now. Okay, so let's say that this is the floor that I want to do the carpeting over, and of course I just have this here to do rug glitching on, because I need a flat surface for that. That's why this is here. But let's say that this is the floor. So what we're going to do, actually, we're going to go down to grab the basic wooden stuff. And we're just going to grab these stairs and this floor. And I will provide a link to the video which fully explains this and everything you can do with it. I will provide a link to that video in the description in case you haven't seen it. There we go. And what that does is that raises our floor level up one. And so then let's go down and grab my carpet, which is from Unlock Settlement Objects mod, and it's under wood and then carpets. And then what I did was, with that higher floor level, I was able to go and snap in these carpets. Now for the ceiling, you see, I can't very well just, I kind of had to do the same thing for the ceiling is what I'm saying, because I couldn't just put those carpets on the second floor, because then you have the the ugly wood undercarriage, and you know, the ugly under part. And what I did there is actually this same technique with the stairs, only in reverse. I used that for the upper floor, and then what I did was I simply did the same process with these stairs in reverse. I put those first, and then I put this here, like so, and then I was able to put the Institute floor. Imagine that's an Institute floor. I was able to put the Institute floor under it, so that, let's go back over here, so that when you're looking at it from down here, you have the nice shiny Institute floor, and then when you're up top, you have the carpet. So that's, you know, that's the story with that. I continue to use this little concrete wall flanking technique. I'm really loving more and more how it looks, and I've continued to use that here on the entrance to the Settler Commissary. Piper, seriously, dude, move. Okay, I've continued to use that here, and it's also the same technique that I used for the little veranda thing out here, little balcony dealy. And, you know, it's simple as, you know, putting the concrete walls where they go and sliding them down. And that's also the same thing that I did for the windows along the back of my own quarters, which I have not updated since, wow, a couple videos ago. I'm circling back around here. I'll get to this, but that's also how I did these windows here. And then you know, use some tricks to connect the warehouse pieces to the concrete. But yeah, so the balcony over there, it's the same process as this right here. Alright guys, so that's progress I'm making currently on Black Fortress Sanctuary. I'm getting near my build limit, and of course, you know, I don't mind going past the limit. I can always expand it more, but you know, then you risk suffering frame rate issues, and so we're getting near the end of this build, and then I'll be returning to my military checkpoint settlement, and I have some other ideas for themed settlements in mind as well. Alright guys, I hope you like this. It was, you know, it's been a real pleasure making this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Comment below, like the video. Guys, my name is Darkdally. I will catch you all next time.